Balance. Everyone needs it, especially when you're running your own business. There's no one to tell you to clock in, to clock out, whether to take a lunch or take a break. It's freeing, but you need to have the discipline to do so. Athena has a lot going on, and in today's episode we will dive into how she tries her best at balancing time between work and taking care of herself and spending quality time with family, as well as getting a little inside scoop on how she makes ears. Now before we keep going, I just wanted to give a shout out to my first sponsor, Dubby. Dubby is an energy drink supplement that claims to not give you the jitters, and I've been using it for a couple months now and I can safely say no jitters. And I call that a win. If you use discount code CHEESE3, which you can see on your screen right here, you will get 10% off your next Dubby order. Again, any little bit helps the channel out and I really appreciate you guys for doing so. Anyways, back to the video.
I'm making ears, so I already traced these parts out, and I have the foam up there, and so traditionally you're supposed to do this with like an X-Acto blade, but I have found a technique where I can just cut it with very sharp scissors. But basically, like, I'm cutting the fabric that this faux fur is attached to, and so that the faux fur doesn't get cut, but yet the fabric part that it's attached to does. I gotta make a lot of ears. I have a lot of shows to do. I have Kikori coming up and Game On Expo coming up in the next couple of weeks here, and those two shows are back to back of each other. So I am a little slightly stressed on the ears and the horns situation, because I'm basically making an inventory for 2 shows. So I got a lot to make. So if I was to just sit down and make one set of ears, it would probably take me around 2 to 3 hours to make just one. But that's gonna take too much time and not productive at all. So what I do is I do assembly line, where I will make several in a batch. So I try to make at least 6 to 12 ears in a batch, and that will take me 2 or 3 days to do. Depends on what's going on that day too, because sometimes I have like full days where it's awesome. I have like the entire day to work and I can get a lot done and I can be productive. But then there's some days where, you know, like daily life comes about and I'm with family or I'm with friends, and I get like an hour here and then I have to do an activity, and then an hour here and do an activity. So it was like this pick up and go stop situation. Then things can take a lot longer. I just have a lot of like family things going on that need my full attention, so I'm not gonna have a whole lot of opportunities to work on my stuff that I need to. And I'm just trying to like squeeze in there as much as I can. So I have a lot of family stuff going on, and that will need my full attention, and family is really, really important to me. And just that, also having family time, and during that time too, I won't be able to travel with my stuff. You know, I can't just bring my like fur and hot glue gun over to a friend's house like and dirty up their whole house full of fur. You can't do that. And also too, with my paints and stuff, it's tricky to like, you know, like, oh, set up a space. Like here, what's nice about my room is that I can just set up, but I can't, not every environment is set up for like my paints or for my crafting. And so I can't always take them everywhere with me. The next week is then that will be Kikori, and then the week after that, that'll be Game On Expo. So I basically have this week to do stuff and get ready for 2 shows in just a couple of days, and there is a lot on the calendar. That is not just art related. Look at all these ears. So these ones here I have fully cut out foam. They just need wire, which I have these nice little jigs that my dad made, so I can just he traced out the ears, and then I can mold around the wire, and it goes like it goes much faster. And then I have these ones that I still need to cut out the white fur for. And then I think I have another batch, probably another 4 ears in a bag right now that have the wire and all the fur. They just need to be hot glued. So it's it's a process. This is from Howl. I like Howl fabrics. That actually reminds me, I need to make an order today. See, that's also another thing, is that also takes time. I'm not like, oh, I need more fur, just poof, more fur comes into existence. You know, I have to make an order, and that sounds like no big deal, but it's still like, you know, it takes time. Go on website, put in all my info, finding it. Sometimes the company doesn't have what I exactly need, so I have to be put on like a wait list, which sometimes stresses me out a little bit when I need a color. Like right now I need orange fur because people really like the fox ears, but Howl, the company I get this fur from, has been out of orange for a long time. So I'm still waiting on the orange fur to come into stock. Like, come on, come here. I want to at least have 40 ears, so that means that I'm walking into Kikori with 20 and Game On with 20. Obviously I won't separate the two, but it's like a very rough kind of estimate idea. And I have about 10 ears right now in my inventory, I believe, something like that. So I gotta make some. I gotta make them. Also too, I don't have a whole lot of smalls and mediums, so that's really what I'm working on for my ears. I want to make some more horns, but I don't know how many I'll get. I'll just try to do as many as possible. Even if I make 1 or 2, I'll be happy. I would like more, but I have to be realistic with myself, you know, and have realistic expectations. There's no point in having unrealistic expectations. I would also like to have 4 Game On new charms. I like every show to have something new out on my table, something people haven't seen yet, because I do get repeats. And there are people who go to like every single show and they see me, and I never want to have the situation of someone coming by my booth and they see all the same exact stuff that they saw at the last show, and they're like, oh, I supported you last time, I'm not gonna buy anything, and then they just walk by. So I make it a very clear goal of mine to at least have something new, something that wasn't at the last show. So if there is any repeats, they're like, oh, look at that, you made me think. So I gotta make a new order of charms. I have some ideas of designs in my head, but I just have to sit down and do it. Ah, man, yes, I have to get these booms done by Game On. These have to be done. That's also another goal. Oh gosh. Okay, so that's also another thing I have to do is that um, I'm doing a stamp rally with a group of artists for Game On, and I did finish my lollipop, my sword lollipop painting. Thankfully, I already have some artwork that will already work for what we're doing. But my brother has to take a photo of 2 new paintings, and I have to make them into a die cut, and then I have to send them to the artist who's designing the prize. So, yep. Yep. A big checklist, but I'll get it done. I'll be fine. I don't like when people say, "Oh, you're an artist, that means you just sit at home all day and paint." Really, dude? Really? Yes, but there's a lot more to it than just that.
So behind the scenes, I helped cut out the foam and bend the wire interiors. By the way, these jigs were designed and thought of by Brock, and it helps the process so much. Stella also hopped in and glued fur together, and in the ear factory, everything helps. At the time of editing this video, Athena is unavailable to work on things for almost a week, and yeah, it's right before 2 conventions. And as for me, the editor, I'm on crunch time to get these episodes out, so it's a mad dash to Kikori and Game On. And honestly, I can't wait to see all of you there.